I just saw the movie Oppenheimer, and that got me interested in looking in this box. This was given to me 20 years ago. It is a World War II footlocker for a captain, Army captain named Art Loyd. Now, Art Loyd was also a cinematographer for Laurel and Hardy in Our Gang back in the 1920s and 30s. This was gifted to me, and it is a treasure. I've got the evidence of his life here. I want to share a few things with you and talk about how it's related to Oppenheimer. In here, I've got his captain's cover, the flag that draped his coffin. His orders are here. I got a few photographs here that are fascinating. Here's the Our Gang cast. If you're a movie buff, you recognize some of the people here. You might recognize there's Art Loyd with Laurel or Hardy. I forget which one. He was the rotund one. And what's really interesting that got me thinking about this, so Captain Art Loyd, cinematographer in Hollywood, went to help train people as combat photographers. But once the war ended, and as you know, World War II ended, the European theater, the Nazis had lost, and then the Pacific theater, there were 2 bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and that effectively ended the war. Immediately, the United States began testing bombs, atomic bombs, and they needed photographers to document the whole thing. So, therefore this, Operation Crossroads. Now, Operation Crossroads, it was a project to document the impact of atomic blasts on naval ships. So they went to the Marshall Islands, in this case, Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands, and they detonated bombs around Bikini Atoll. And Captain Loyd was involved in the project to document this. And it's fascinating. It was just 3 months, and you can see in here all the people that were involved in this project. You can see their faces. This is going back, almost 80 years now. There's Captain Loyd, right there. I want to read the first paragraph here in the section titled, What We Did and How We Did It. Our struggle for individual freedom was brought to an abrupt end by the introduction of a new and terrible weapon, the atomic bomb. A weapon that might, in a few strokes, wipe out any nation's power to resist. It represents a new era, a new age that was clouded in mystery. About the only thing actually known of the atomic bomb was that it would win a war. Now, this Operation Crossroads, they dropped the first bomb since the end of the war on Bikini Atoll. And there's an original photograph of that atomic bomb going off. And as you know, since then, immediately the Cold War began, where Russia and the United States were competing to see who would have the most atomic bombs. Well over 13,000 atomic bombs had been made, enough to destroy the world several times over, many times over. Where are we now? Well, since the Cold War ended, Russia and the United States began to discharge their bombs, getting rid of many of them, not discharging them, I'm not talking about, getting rid of them, decommissioning those bombs. But in the last 10 years, things began to tick up again. A new Cold War is developing. What can we do? There are a couple things that I want to just mention. Having watched Oppenheimer, it was amazing to see the history, but where we are now, the existential risk of nuclear proliferation today is real. There's one organization that I follow, which I love their work. It's called the Future of Life Institute, futureoflife.org. Check them out. They focus on existential risks. Everything from biotechnology to artificial intelligence, climate change, and nuclear proliferation. And if you go to their site, you can learn about something else, what you can actually do. Because you might think, how on earth are we going to change the policies of the United States, Russia, and China as they build up their nuclear armaments again? Well, what you can do is this: responsible nuclear divestment. If you are investing your funds, know what the companies you're investing in are also investing in. Are they making money for you by supporting companies that build more bombs or bomb-making materials or enriching uranium? You can divest your money from those investments. Go to futureoflife.org, amazing organization. They are really focused on existential risk. You can learn a lot from these guys.